Mario Kart Tour has a special skill associated with every single item in the game, and they each take a different form depending on if it is a driver, kart, or glider special skill. Drivers have special items which can appear in races, karts have special skills that increase points and boost time for certain actions. Finally, gliders increase chances of getting standard items and points for using them. Each of these special skills are made up of a combination of more basic skills. For example, longer Rocket Start Dash and Score Up Rocket Start are used in the Rocket Start Plus special skill to increase the points and boost time given for performing one. When I refer to skills from now on, I won't just mean the special skill labeled on driver, kart, or glider profiles. Each of those special skills are made up of multiple of these more basic skills. These skills also include the driver, kart, and glider bonuses when leveling up items, such as increased combo time as well. For example, Probability Up Fever, or in other words, Increased Frenzy Chance, is a skill that is used when your driver's percentage increase of frenzy is greater than plus 0%. I've stumbled upon a list of 75 different skills that could have been incorporated into the game in some form. Some of these are unused, some of these are used in special circumstances such as in multiplayer, and some of these are even incorporated into the actual game. I have managed to activate most of them for this video, however I was not able to change the parameters for a lot of them. In this way, the value associated with the skills was different each time I activated it. For example, with Speed Up Kura, in other words speeding up shells, I was not able to change how fast they would go with the skill active until later on in testing. And this led to two different recordings where the speed of shells was greater than normal for one, and then negative for another. More on that later. In order to account for this, I have simulated some of these skills by changing their values elsewhere in the game instead of enabling them directly, in order to demonstrate how they would function. With Speed Up Kura, I changed the speed of shells another way to demonstrate how that would look during a race. Sometimes the skills when activated would work, but not enough to make a noticeable difference because of the parameter. This simulated method of demonstration allows me to change the parameter in most cases. Basically, I did my best to enable these and demonstrate how they would work. I'm going to split these skills into a few categories to organize this video. First, I'll start by listing all the skills already used in the game in various places. Once we get those out of the way, I will show some footage of the beta version of the game that uses some of these now unused skills in the final game. Following that, we get to the exciting stuff, the completely unused skills. Anything that I was not able to activate or was unsure of will be mentioned in the end. With that, let's get started. All of the following skills are used in the game as of update 2.9.0. Since Fever is the code word for a frenzy internally, Probability Up Fever should be pretty self-explanatory. This is the percentage increase found on driver profiles. Enable Item is the skill that allows for special items on drivers to be used in the current race. This gameplay is what happens when all of them are enabled. It gets kinda crazy. Action Score Up is used to add points to actions. Its parameter depends on the calculation used in the game for the bonus points boost, and is a single value that is multiplied into all points. Instead of going through each of the skills related to kart special skills, I'm going to make a chart here of all the corresponding skills. For example, for Dash Panel Plus, Score Up Dash Panel increases the points received for doing one, and Longer Dash Panel increases the boost time. They have parameters of how many extra points and how much extra boost time that increases as you go from common to high-end karts. The same idea can be applied to the rest. I won't go too in-depth with the gliders either for the sake of time. Probability Up Item increases your chances of getting the item associated with the glider from the roulette. The value is different depending on the rarity of the glider. Score Up Item and Score Up Item Slot Result is the other effect of the glider special skill, and increases your points for getting the item associated with the glider. Score Up Item was used only with coins from my testing, everything else used Item Slot Result. This is most likely because all other items either have an action when used, or an action when hitting another driver with them. Longer Combo Interval is the extra percentage of combo time found when leveling up the glider. Combo Score Up is the other bonus that gliders give aside from combo time, which gives increasing extra points for each combo action until maxing out the extra points bonus at 15 actions and above on 150cc. This is applied based on what shelf level your glider is when entering a race. In multiplayer, there is a setting that is called Team Attack and essentially prevents your items from being able to hit your team members. Avoid Lock-On is similarly used to prevent red shells, blue shells, and anything that locks on from targeting you. Every single item in the game has an Avoid Lock-On level parameter, and while most are set to 1, Blue Shell is set to 2, and Bowser's Shell is set to 200, so theoretically you can never ever escape a Bowser Shell. In Coin Rush, you can play as Gold Mario, which has the Coin Vacuum as his special skill. The special skill uses the Attract Coin skill. That's all for the ones currently used in the game. Now let's move on to skills that appeared in the beta but not in the final game. I did my best to find footage of some of these skills from the beta, but as most of them are locked behind many levels, it was not possible to unlock them. Like Score Up Item and Score Up Item Slot Result, Coin Up Item and Coin Up Item Result are both used in the beta depending on the item. In this footage from the beta, Daisy receives +4 coins from using the Heart item. The gliders also use this to give coins for using the special item and the special skill for leveling it up. Base score up can be seen in the beta profile screen. For example, Mario has +160 base points at level 5. This would most likely be applied during the opening camera pan of the race, not immediately in the profile screen. Within their level up perks, drivers, karts, and gliders had one or more increases in base score, and the change in points was higher depending on the rarity of the item. In the beta, drivers at level 9 could increase their frenzy time by 1 second, 1.5 seconds, or 2 seconds depending on the driver's rarity with longer fever. In the beta, instead of giving bonus points for the shelf advantage, the Kart bonus was a speed increase on favored courses using the speed up skill. It has many tiers, a small speed up bonus at level 1, a medium speed up bonus at level 4, a large speed bonus at level 5, and finally a huge speed bonus at level 10. I was not able to control the increase in speed when activating the speed up skill in the final game, but it does work still. The 5 skills associated with karts each had a skill in the beta that allows you to get a number of coins for performing that action. I was only able to find footage from the beta for 2 of them. The first one is Coin Up Dash panel and can be seen here from the level 2 Turbo Yoshi perk. The second one here is Coin Up Mini Turbo and can be seen here from the level 2 Landship perk. The number of coins increases with the rarity of the kart. Activating this skill in-game works just fine, and I was able to specify the amount of coins leading me to try a ridiculous value here. Gliders at level 2 had the ability to decrease the amount of time it takes for the item roulette to give an item using the Quick Slot Stop skill. Depending on the rarity, the bonus was +25%, +50%, or +100% on favored courses. I did find footage of this from the beta, which you can see now. Enabling this in-game yielded weird results once again to not being able to specify the value that it was shortened to. One race had the item slots roll for the entire lap, and then another had them almost immediately finish. Later on, I found a way to simulate this value, and you can see what +25% would look like in the game here, what +50% would look like here, and then what +100% would look like here. Leveling up a glider to level 6 in the beta would reduce the amount of time it takes to recover from a crash on favored courses by 0.2, 0.3, or 0.5 seconds depending on the rarity of the item. When I activated Quick Crash, I was not able to change the time reduced or added, so here the crash would almost immediately end due to its value. I already covered the Attract Coin skill being used in Coin Rush with Gold Mario's Coin Vacuum special skill, but this was also present in the beta in a different form. Gliders at level 10 gain the ability to vacuum up coins in the radius of 5, 10, or 15 depending on the rarity of the glider. For this skill, I was able to change the radius and also make it very large. Here's some footage of what the radius of 5 would look like. This is what the radius of 10 looks like. And finally, this is what the radius of 15 looks like. Starting at a radius of 10, you can vacuum up coins from when you get hit. Most of the beta skills were removed from coming to the final game because Mario Kart Tour was a somewhat different game in the beta, and let's be honest, most would be overpowered in the final game today. Now, it's time for the unseen stuff. I managed to activate 27 different unused skills. Some of these were simulated by changing parameters in the game that would be related to the skill instead, because I could not change the parameter of the skill directly. This, by far, is the most surprising skill to me, and Thunder to Star is exactly as it sounds. Whenever you get shocked by lightning, you become invincible for a short amount of time. Crash Explosion, although it does not have any visual explosion, does actually function. It has a radius for an explosion that happens behind the cart, and as of right now, the action counts as a star hit. I could not change the value of the radius, but it was large enough to demonstrate the skill. Since Kura is the internal name for shells, Speed Up Kura changes the speed of green shells and red shells. I gave the shells a faster speed value here. In one instance, I made the shell too fast to the point where it would cause the game to run very slowly whenever a shell was moving. Here I made the shells as slow as the cart. This reminds me of being able to outrun shells in 200cc on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I was also able to give shells a negative speed value, which means throwing one forward would cause it to move backwards after a short amount of time. Enemy spin by hit is pretty self-explanatory. Whenever you bump a cart, you spin out the other cart. When you apply this skill to everyone at once, hitting another cart spins out both of them. Flying Start is a skill that allows you to drive before the countdown is finished. Its value corresponds to what number of the countdown you could drive at. This skill does not give you a rocket start, however, and instead just allows you to start accelerating. This also means that when the skill is set at 1, it makes you slower than the other drivers that get a rocket start. And a value of 0 cancels any rocket start you may do. Enhanced Glide gives you invincibility for the duration of your gliding time. Avoid Coin Drop decreases the amount of coins you drop. In order to demonstrate this, I have zoomed out the camera and made the cart smaller. A value of 1 would make you drop 2 coins instead of 3, a value of 2 makes you only drop 1 coin, and lastly a value of 3 would prevent you from dropping coins at all. I also set the value to a negative number to make you drop more coins than normal, and the results were interesting. Setting it to negative 97, which would drop 100 coins, dropped so many coins, and turned most of them into red coins. Values above 3 begin to spawn red coins, which is a completely unused function in the game since you can never drop more than 3 coins. Invalidate Oil removes the ability to spin out on oil pools found on tracks such as Mario Circuit. Invalidate Pool removes the ability to spin out on puddles or pools found on tracks, such as Neo Bowser City. Certain challenges such as Time Trial give items to you at the start of the race, however, Get Item at Start is not the same as the initial items in a challenge. The bonus challenges have a parameter for this specifically, and this is not used due to that. The only time I was able to activate this had some weird stuff happen. In one instance, everyone got double bob-ombs, including myself where I had 3 and therefore a frenzy. Since I am unable to change the parameter for this one, it can be assumed that the item could be specified. In the game, there are different levels of Rocket Start, and Easy Rocket Start always makes you get the highest level of boost, even if it feels like you would burn out. Speed up first lap increases your kart speed until the second/final lap or second section is reached. Speed up final lap increases your kart speed when the final lap is reached. This does account for more than 2 laps or sections. Quick Mini Turbo increases the speed of charging mini turbos. When you get a Frenzy, this skill bonus combines to make an even faster mini turbo. Although this is seeming to be used in the final game when you get a Frenzy, the Frenzy state increases this value, not this skill specifically, making it go unused. Since Kinoko is the internal name for mushrooms, Longer Dash Kinoko increases the boost time for mushrooms. Increase Get Coin Num increases the amount of coins you would receive from the coin item. Quick Spin changes the amount of time it takes to spin out. 0 represents no change to time, so a negative value would make you spin faster. -1 represents an instant recovery, but an infinitely slow spin is possible if you set it to values above 0. Here are what some of those values look like. The next skills are all based around actions in the game, most of which are unused. All of them increase the amount of points given for the related action type. Score Up, Drift, Keep. There exists functionality in the game to give a combo action every so often when you hold a drift. Score Up, Hit, Kart. Bumping another driver also has functionality to give you a combo action. Score Up, Spin. Spinning out has unused functionality to give a combo action. Score Up, Crash. Crashing also has unused functionality to give a combo action. Score Up, Lock On has functionality to give a combo action every time you have an item lock on to you, such as a red shell. Score Up, Fever. This increases the score given for the Frenzy action given for tapping during a Frenzy. Score Up, Glide. This increases the score given for the glide time action given during gliding sections. Score Up, Water. Like gliding, water was initially going to have a combo action for driving underwater. It's a lot slower than all of the others by default. Some unused actions also had skills that gave you coins for performing them. Coin Up, Hit, Kart. Bumping a player gives you a coin with this skill. Coin Up, Glide. Every so often while gliding, you receive a coin with this skill. Coin Up, Water. Every so often when driving underwater, you receive a coin with this skill. It's a lot slower than all the others by default. Here are the rest of the skills from the list I have not talked about yet. All of them had no apparent change when activated in the game. They are all up for speculation and guessing since I was not able to get footage of them or see a noticeable difference. Weight Up and Handling Up Glide. These two would most likely just increase the values for their parameter, making the kart and glider associated have a higher stat for weight or handling while gliding. Crash Dash. If I had to guess what this skill did, I would say that upon crashing you have a chance to dash. Dashing is the internal word for boosting, so would it negate a crash in general? This skill has a probability and dash effectiveness associated to it elsewhere. Spin Dash on Banana. This skill did nothing in-game, but if I had to guess, it would give a boost when spinning out on a banana instead of spinning out. CC Up Next Race. I actually have no idea how this would work. This is definitely a leftover from when the game was going to function very differently. Enable Fever Button. A frenzy button? I don't have much to say about this one. I looked to see if a button appeared in the game anywhere with this skill enabled, and there was not one. Get Coin during jump action and Get Coin during glide. Both of these skills did nothing when active to my knowledge, and the other skills Coin Up Glide and Coin Up Jump action already exist that do these skills' implied function, so I'm not sure what these are. Homing Item. Every item in the game has a homing item level. Most of the items are set to 0. There are 3 items in the parameters that have a value that is above 0. Bananas have a value of 1, Bob-ombs have a value of 2, and green shells have a value of 3. This implies that with this skill, setting the homing item level, you could make bananas, Bob-ombs, and green shells home into a target. I did activate this one, but it did nothing. It would have been very cool to see that work in game. Score Up Map Object. This skill would have to be set for a specific map object that would be specified along with the skill, similarly to Invalidate Pool and Invalidate Oil. This skill reminds me of the Katamatsu that would be given extra points only on Spotlight drivers during the New Year's Tour of 2020. You can see here that Happy gets an extremely large amount of points compared to Baby Mario. They stopped giving extra points like that for map objects like Christmas trees or Katamatsu that had an action following that tour, however, leaving this now unused. Auto Item. This skill did nothing in-game, and it's most likely not related to the setting we have today. It might have been a skill that would do something similar to how CPUs automatically throw shells when they were guaranteed a hit sometimes. This is speculation based on a few other parameters I saw. It's interesting to note that this skill may be related to CPUs in that way, using items. Any other references to this skill falls under the CPUs. Piercing Kura. Piercing Kura might have increased the amount of pierce that green shells have, possibly going through a driver to another as well. Invalidate Item is up to speculation. It could have prevented an item from being able to hit you, such as a green shell, based on the invalidate keyword that has been seen in other skills. This is similar to the multiplayer concept of team attack, where you prevent your own team members' items from hurting you. Stronger Item. This one is also up to speculation, but based on the backend, this is definitely not the plus items we have today because of the parameters. This didn't level up the item to item plus when in action. Based on other references, this could also have to do with the item slot roulette. The stronger item parameter has a max level of 3 specified elsewhere, ranging from 1 to 3. Score Up. Based on all of the other skills involving Score Up that increase points for inaction, I'm not sure what a very general Score Up would be used or applied to. Item Numb Up. Due to limitations of my activation of these skills, I have no idea if this skill is used to impact how many extra items are in Fire Flower Plus, Ice Flower Plus, and Double Bob-ombs Plus. Based on the structure of the backend, where there are 2 separate types for items and their plus variants, it is my guess that this skill is not related to the plus items at all. Action Score Up Add. The game uses Action Score Up for the addition of all bonus points, leaving this skill unused. This sounds like it would be adding to the bonus points boost instead of multiplying like Action Score Up does. And that's every skill on the list. I don't think that any of these skills will be added in the future. A lot of these seem like remnants of other ideas and are from the time when Mario Kart Tour could have been a very different game. However, nothing is impossible. I had to do a lot of research into the game to make sure what I was saying was correct here, as well as do my best to investigate what each of these skills could mean. If you liked the video, please consider giving it a like. Bye for now!